Hello, we are back and ready to send people to their deaths. I mean, to go on mission.
Mission, not death. Mission.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
No. Josh, you.
All right, so primary mission. We are going to send the ghost owls to retrieve their wayward corporal with an assist from Martianus Flavius Harana and Iranov Iranov from the Grinning Ravens. They are going to be accompanied by Contessa Victoria and
Now I have to check who that is. Hang on.
That's our sniper.
she's the sniper.
Oh, that's a sniper. Okay, awesome.
Sniper who just got our sweet alchemist.
Yep.
Named Landgrave Aurora Gorosi.
I'm chuckling because in the book, Landgrave Aurora Gorosi is literally the name of the canonical sniper.
Oh my god! Really? I just literally pulled that out of the
No, that's awesome.
no wonder it sounded so natural.
Yeah, it fits.
I can change it if that's.
Speaking of which, I have to tweet that piece of art that shows how Aurora Gorosi got the one eye power. It's one of my top 3 favorite pieces of art in the book.
Nice.
Maybe I'll tell a little story about that on Twitter next week, sort of leading up to the time when Band of Blades may be appearing for pre-order.
Very soon. Who's going with Victoria?
Yeah, that's what I'm dithering about. We'll go ahead and send Matali.
I want to, not for this mission, but I want to point out that Matali and Voyas are now, in my opinion, the perfect couple in fighting.
They are.
Well, because Matali has War Machine and Weapon Master, so when he pushes, he gets all these crazy effects. He's just literally a Weapon Master War Machine. And Voyas now has backup, which means he makes it cheaper for other people to push. So if Voyas and Matali are fighting together, it is like the cheapest thing to do for them to be the biggest destruction force in the planet.
Also, the 2 heavies teaming up is just rad.
It's just rad. Yeah. Not that it's applicable for this mission. It's a thing.
In the future, to note.
Yep. All right, so yeah.
All right, cool. So primary mission is the remnants of the Ghost Owls reinforced with 2 Grinning Ravens. Yep. And who is Matali going on this mission?
Matali
and the sniper.
And the sniper.
Cool.
Yeah.
Misha's making a face.
Oh.
And I think we wanted to send Rhea as well so that Matali could clear their second.
Right.
Oh yeah,
right,
yeah.
Cool. Are we doing standard allotments of players?
Yeah, who's who?
I don't know. That's really complicated.
Well, Jay usually plays Matali and Jen usually plays Rhea. And the question that I have is, you usually play the sniper, actually, Misha. So my question is, which rookie does Sean get?
Yeah. Am I getting one of the Ravens? Because the Ravens you sent were the soldiers, right?
I believe so.
You're sending Smoke and Flavia?
No, Flavia and Iranov.
Okay, Iranov is a rookie. Okay, yeah. So I could play either one. Your choice. Or one of the Ghost Owls too.
You know what? Let's have you play. I will continue to play Fuchsia Shouting Right, and you can play the sniper.
Okay. All right.
That's awesome. All right, cool.
Let's get Fuchsia leveled up. Let's get Fuchsia turned into a soldier.
So
who's in charge?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It
can be anybody. Just don't make it be Rhea because Jen doesn't like that.
Yeah, I know.
Right. It's too many decisions. I didn't mind quote unquote leading with Voyas because Voyas didn't talk much and just swung my hammer.
I do not want you to be uncomfortable, and I do not want you to play things that you do not want to play. But that form of leadership was very entertaining to watch. All
It
good.
was fun to play too.
Maybe you should lead missions as Voyas.
So one is Metali.
Cool. Metallic, you're in charge. Heavy as the bird.
It is heavy.
Right. We should
It's
probably
engagement roll time.
before, because this has come up before and we forgot to do it.
Load.
Wait,
Yeah,
load,
load and well, this is a scouting mission, so
Nobody go heavy. Right?
that is how it do.
Yeah. Sorry, Metali.
I guess it's the one that's in charge that makes the engagement roll.
Technically, no. It's the
Oh,
marshal's duty.
Marshal.
Awesome, cool. Because I didn't want to do it.
Well, good thing you didn't pick the marshal.
Alright. So, engagement roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody,
He always has to do that and decide who dies. It's a rough job.
this is hard. Everybody is Oathsworn. Yay, awesome. Commander, did you spend an intel?
I did not.
Oh, wait. Intel questions. We forgot to do those.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
right.
Let's do
Yes.
those while everybody does load. You get a 0 and a 1, Jay.
All right. I'm pulling up my intel questions.
They are in roll 20. I can't actually do like a cool roll 20 trick where I show them to people
Oh,
or something.
I can though.
Oh, do it.
I've been generally trying to pop that up. Yeah, there we go. I'm still not sure if it's really readable. Chat, tell me if it's useless.
Okay. I'm ready.
Heavy.
Away.
What are two approaches we could use here on a mission?
Cool. So the best advice that I have for you is either go loud or go quiet, right? Because either you're going to go in prepared for the fight and you're going to be like, whatever the hell this thing was that was attacking everybody, come at us, right? Like pump flares into the sky, announce exactly where you are, but then your troops are likely to find you or answer, right? And then failing that, you could go with the like speed and stealth approach where you're trying to actually do like scouting and investigation to find out like what happened and like see if you can outplay whatever it is that you're about to be fighting. Positionally, the missions are like geographically the same, but the approach will change a lot of what you're doing. You have to like go up into the mountains, cross a bridge. There's like a particular town with like a forest past it that you investigate. That's roughly where they ended up getting jumped. So like that's the thing.
And then what's useful to bring on this mission?
Does Rhea have all right medical alchemy?
No,
Uh,
I don't think. Unless someone took it.
no, it's fine. I didn't know if you wanted to check or not. It's the one that gives you the bandolier with the chemicals.
No.
Things that are useful to bring on this mission. Jeez. People with high research. Good scouting. You're gonna need. I don't know. There's like the speed or stealth approach. Like speed might mean horses. Stealth might mean like not, because horses are visible from a distance and stuff. Like even though it gives you like extreme mobility, especially compared to the undead, a lot of stuff that they were describing move almost as fast as horses. So, what else might be useful here? Let me think for a hot second.
I have an idea of something.
Traps. Like that's not a common thing the Legion does. Like they don't bring materials to build traps. But if you brought some stuff like that, that might actually be useful. Which has been Metali's kind of like wrecking kit plus drop buildings on people has been like his signature move for like a couple of missions now. Just like, you want to follow us? Cool, follow us through falling buildings. That's cool, right? So
My plan is to bring the same camo kit that was on the last mission, which if I remember correctly is enough to hide all of us in. I'm going to double check that.
there's one catch. I believe camo kits are from heavy load for scouts.
Oh, well, Whoops. I put it on as a 2-item utility thing. I think I added
That's
that
actually fine.
manually.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Do you have Scrounge?
No, I'm playing the sniper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Scrounge can give you like a well-hidden like safe nook, and then the camo kit can ensure that it's not easily found.
Yep.
With the sniper, we'll have to make some rolls and see. There's no
Yeah.
guarantee.
So that might not actually be as strong as I thought it was. But
It is enough to like hide an entire area.
right. So if we want to go the sneaky route, that's what I will do. If we want to go the speedy route, I will do something. I'll back something else as my utility. I think somebody bringing a climbing kit might make sense if we're going up in the woods.
Yep.
It'd always be handy.
I don't have that.
Anybody can get it. It's a utility item. You can add it.
Oh, okay.
Secret MVP climbing kits.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take. I'm thinking of taking books and scrolls because it sounds like
Yeah.
that's
books
going to
and
be
scrolls.
helpful. But then I still have one more utility spot I can use, so I can, if I could just add climbing kit, I'll just
Yep.
add climbing kit.
Yeah, it's a normal item.
Neat.
All right, engagement rolls.
All right. So, Commander, did you spin an intel to give us foresight and info?
I did not.
All right. Is everyone a specialist or soldier? No. Does anybody distrust or not fear leadership enough to obey orders? No. All the required specialists are on the mission. This is a scouting mission. Quartermaster, are you spinning horses?
I don't think. I mean, Commander, did you give us a sense of whether you wanted us to go sneaky or fast?
I think sneaky.
Then Ixnay on the Orsnay is Hayes.
And is anybody starting with a... Okay, so it says, is any soldier starting with a heavy load? I do not believe so.
I think that means any. I think that's using soldier.
Any legionnaire.
Okay,
Legionnaire.
Any legionary, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Then yes. Is anybody starting with a heavy load?
No.
No.
Nope.
All right, excellent. So we have
One?
one.
I think we have one.
Okay.
All right.
Let the dice fly. Or in this case, let the die fly.
No.
That is a pet peeve of mine. When people describe a single die as dice,
Yeah.
well, one dice. I don't know why. I shouldn't care. It doesn't matter.
But it hurts, right?
It hurts
I,
me a little.
I corrected myself. I'm sorry. I was using a turn of phrase that I was like, oh, but
No,
it's
no.
not entirely correct.
No, you were absolutely dead on. There we go.
Oop, desperate position. Sounds
Mhm.
good.
No bad engagement rolls.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Except on secondary missions, in which case there's plenty of bad engagement rolls.
Awesome. So I think I'm gonna describe a couple of things, right? And then you folks will tell me what you do. So you folks follow the same route. Like there are owls on your team, right? So like they're easily telling you like, okay, we went this way, you know. And so you actually exit Barrack Mines. You actually weave. There's a road, and it's an actual road that goes for a little while. It goes like left, right, left, right, left, right. Like it's not exactly a switchback because it's not like the cliffs. It's not going up a cliffside like this, but it's a road that weaves between like, you know, two mountains. And as you're gaining elevation, right, like the weather changes because that's what happens when you gain elevation. And so you folks are in like autumn, and the like the skies get like real dark, and it starts like this chill kind of like drenching through your clothes rain comes down, and the path keeps going up. You're fine, like everyone's walking in formation, you're like watching stuff, you're being careful, and there is a gap. There's a gap between like you're heading up, and then there is like a bridge that goes between, like you kind of like go around one mountainside, and there's like a little bridge that goes to like it's a small valley, but yeah, there's a small bridge, and it goes to another mountainside that has like a little leveled off section that then elevates and goes into pine forest, and that section that you're looking at there has a hamlet in it. It's not huge, right? Like Barrack Mines has like a real population. Like it has like probably 1,000 people, like maybe 3,000 people. Like it's not small. But this thing is like, you're talking like a couple hundred, right? Like they do have like a church to Gerholtz there. So it's got like a steeple, you know, and it's like 2-3 story. But I want you to think more like Wild West town than I want you to think like actual proper city. Like it doesn't have like it has like a little bit of a wall between like it and like the sort of like lower slopes. So it looks like they thought about defense, but it's kind of half-assed because they're like missing it on the whole northern side and stuff, right? Like it's not, it looks like a sleepy hamlet high up in the mountains where they're more concerned about the dreads of like winter and heavy snows than they are about like undead in the night. But as you approach town, it's kind of quiet. And the ghost owls tell you, hey, you know, something's not right. There were people here like hours ago, right? Like this is wrong. And so as you kind of like, what are the orders, Matali? Are you folks like entering town, like, you know, swords up looking around, or like, are you sending us like specific people? What's the protocol?
I think we're going in and on alert.
Okay, cool.
Cautious.
So it takes you a little while to find one, but you do, and you find a body. And it looks it's dead, not undead. And there's some weirdness about it, right? Like it looks like something ate, like it's like stomach, like, and it's got this like weird, almost like burned, like charcoaly section around its like mouth and eyes. You're not sure what that's about. Like it doesn't look like somebody like stuck a brand or anything. It's almost like gunpowder residue. It's like smoke, right? Like it's ash, kind of like something was burning, but it like either they were inhaling it or exhaling it. But like the area is mussed, but it's not like it doesn't look like they were crisped, right? Like they weren't lit on fire.
Victoria has a glove over her right hand, and she pulls it off, and there's a burn mark on the like this part of her hand from a fire mark, and she sort of compares it to see if it looks like the kind of burn mark you'd get off of gunshot.
Nope, that's something weird. So at least you know that it's not a gunshot.
Cool.
But at this point, you folks are kind of in town, and it's getting pretty cold, right? Like it's raining kind of seriously. Like you're not like completely rain blind. You're not like, you know, in any like massive jeopardy, but it's pretty cold. It's pretty wet. It's like a pretty serious rain, and there's thunder, right? Like there's thunder and lightning periodically. And this is where I'm gonna put that desperate engagement roll on the table, and we'll see how things go, right? There's this moment where one of the rookies, which rookie, Marshall, is facing north a little, like a couple steps ahead with their musket up.
Why do you do this to me? Why?
You picked Marshall. It's not my fault.
Sure, we're gonna say Domina Umbria Capiton.
Cool. So like Domina Umbria is like looking north, right? And it's dark. Like it's not like pitch black, like, you know, but it's like mountainside is blocking a bunch of light, and there's a storm. It's like it's pretty dark, right? Like it's twilight by like the hour of the day, and at this point, like with the cloud cover, there's not a whole ton of light.
Right.
So there's actually like this moment where like earlier when you first found the body, dramatically, because this is a TV show, there was like a flash of lightning, right? And then you saw the body, and then you all approached it and looked at it. So it's holding up a lantern, you know, all that stuff. And there's this flash of lightning, and there is a figure standing on top of one of those buildings. And it's holding something in its hand, and then it hurls it. And So this is where, as like the bad Blaze GM, I bring the nasty thing to pass, and I'm expecting resistance rolls. But yeah, this I'm gonna say giant black full metal barbed spear goes into Domina, pushes her like a good 10 feet, and staples her to a wall.
Yeah, and this is when we say,
This is when you get that castle gift.
yeah, I think I Strash, does warning her sound like insight to you? Noticing this before it
Yeah,
happens?
yeah. This is surprise. I actually would have accepted like a flashback or like a like a prowess, like I spot it and I'm gonna put myself in the way kind of thing too. But yeah, insight test is fine.
Awesome.
It's actually preferred.
Perfect. Then I would like the Contessa to resist that. Yeah, she she is very good at ambushing people, and so she kind of keeps an eye out for ambushes in general. And I think she glances up and yells Domina and something that is like ghost owl,
Like
lingo?
shorthand lingo.
Yeah, like ghost owls are good at sneaking around, and maybe Contessa was a ghost owl. Who knows? But yeah, she yells Domina and barks a thing in ghost owl shorthand, and I will roll my insight.
Couldn't just say duck like a normal person.
Right.
It's actually probably like an all duck command. Like instead of specifying a person, which takes so long.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Or each person might have like a specific word just for them, because the ghost owls are the kind of sneaky ninjas that would actually come up with a term like that for each person.
Right.
And depending on which position of the squad you're put in, you know what your special word is. Any case, 5 means it costs you 1 stress. And Domina manages to like duck at the last second, and this thing hammers into the side of that building, like having like missed like your rookie by like inches, right? And like the lightning flashes, you see this figure, right? And then you see you like Domina gets out of the way, and this thing like hits the wood. I don't know what everyone's doing. I'm assuming everyone's going to be like hitting the deck or something here in a second. What yeah, actually that's the question. What is everyone doing?
I don't know about you, but Fuchsia's taking cover because there are things, big spears being thrown at us, and so she's gonna try to like find out a wall to hide behind or something, or a wagon or something.
Does there appear to be more than one of them at the moment?
I mean, the lights went out. How do you know?
Oh, there was a flash. Okay.
Yeah, right. It was a flash of lightning. You saw a figure, and the lightning's over in like a flash, right? And then the spear comes out of nowhere and just like hammers this person into wall. So this person just like moved, and like the spear went right by them, but like a second spear doesn't appear in the next like 2 seconds. So like, what are you folks doing? Is like everyone hitting the ground? Are you like diving through some doors into a house? Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, I think Victoria is gonna run into a house and shove her rifle through a window so she can try and get a shot next time things light up.
Matali doesn't have time for lightning.
Matali is the lightning.
That's right. Matali is the lightning.
Thunder.
I will fire my flare gun in the direction of that the spear came from.
Nice.
That's smart.
And then I will get the hell out of the way.
Awesome. So I think you fire a flare gun, and a flare lights up the area, and you see that there's this thing there. It's 8-9 feet tall. It's got chest that's like way the F out. Its shoulders are ripped. It's got these giant metal gauntlets. It's got this like weird metal head, but its like mouth is showing. Its chest is bare. It has a big hole in it.
Oh shit!
It's got a skirt made out of chainmail, and on its back it has a quiver, and it's carrying like half a dozen of these 50-pound black metal javelins.
Ooh,
and
one of
like
those.
when the flare goes up, it just like looks back, like as far as you can tell, it doesn't have eyes, right? Like it's got this like metal mask, like that seems like solid, right? And it just kind of like looks towards where everyone is and gives this like noise, and then it's just gonna step backwards and like just step right off of the building. Like it doesn't care about a 2-story drop. Cool. That's gonna happen.
Can I roll a research to see if I remember what this thing is and how to deal with it?
Hell yeah.
We've run into a Heartless before.
Yeah, it's
I think
Heartless.
so, yeah.
Yeah, we know that part at least.
Okay, so this is a research. I'm gonna call it risky. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it's a gather information, so yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I got a 6.
Hell yeah. So
Nice.
so let me tell you what you do know. You know that this is a render troop. You know that they usually lead squads, and you know that many of them are created out of Black Oak Knights. Their hearts are ripped out by Render himself, and they whatever process they use to change them from somebody who's a knight into whatever the hell that thing is, also like tends to give them like 2-3 feet of height and incredible physical strength, like absurd, right? Like and so yeah, they're huge, they're pumped, they're metal, and yeah, it's yeah. So when you see that, you're just like, oh shit, Render troops are in town. That's bad, okay? And yeah. So you get follow-up questions if you'd like.
Yeah. So I feel like there has to be some downside to that super stressful physical transformation. Is there potentially an opening or weakness there?
So most of them are not like super fast. Like they don't have like a lot of the ground eating speed, and traditionally their weakness is range. But Render seems to have gotten giant black spears from somewhere. Now these guys, so it's I'm going to tell you this personally, it's a Render advance. Yeah. So when your first time clock filled, Render got a new power, and the power that I took involves giving these guys some horrific corrupting ranged weapons. Yeah, it's like what are its weaknesses? What's a way that you may be able to fight it? Well, you know that they don't die to a single black shot, but they also don't usually have armor on their chests because they always display their hole for Render, like to see. He won't let them not. So yeah, it's like you have an easy opening, but the problem is that getting into close combat with them is usually death. Most of them have like a melee weapon that bisects people, so like they're pretty scary. Like up close they're pretty scary, but like I said, they have a target area. You can definitely pound them there. In terms of how to like force additional stress on them, you're not 100% sure, because I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
I know that their body is stretched well past its limits. It's just that I also know how it's fortified. So
yeah. For the heart hole, do I have a sense of whether or not like putting a reliquary in there would be?
Yeah, probably is gonna make him happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, most legionnaires that have fought these things are just like play keep away, put blackshot rounds into them. Eventually they do go down. Yeah. If you don't have that option, set a heavy to fight them. Make sure they have a shit ton of armor because these things will cut through most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So what's the plan, folks? You're in this house and everyone's like got guns pointed out the windows. There's like a couple people outside on the porch, like behind some cover, like looking around. What's the call here, Matali? You're the officer in charge here. You haven't quite retreated yet. You saw this thing and it jumped down, and you're just like, I got your number, buddy.
Did it jump down?
Like your flare's still like burning.
Did it jump down towards us? Could we still see it, or did it disappear behind the house?
No, it's you're not 100% sure what its plan is, but it definitely hopped away.
I think we take the high ground. I think we'll get everybody up.
Cool.
On the roofs, we stay high.
Yeah. I like that plan.
Yeah, yeah.
How tall are these buildings?
They're like single story for the most part. They're kind of like family homes that are divided into maybe 2, maybe 3 rooms. Like these are not like super wealthy people. They're like, you know, Highlands farmers and hunters, like fur trappers, that kind of stuff. They're pretty simple folk.
Do they have any guard towers on the walls or anything like that? Because if this is a 300 person, no.
Your best high tall building that you could get into is that church. It's the Gerholtz church. It's got
the church that it just dropped off of.
No, it wasn't on a church. It was just on like, I don't know. In my head, I was imagining a saloon, but like it's a 2-story building.
Yeah.
Nothing too fancy. Let's say it's the mayor's house.
Yeah.
Whatever mayor of a 300 person village is, but you know,
the steward.
There's like a couple of fancier houses that maybe get to a 2nd story, but they're not. Even Barrack Mines has nicer places. The mayor's mansion there has like 9 to 13 rooms, so like this is pretty fancy. Like the one here is like 2 stories. And they're like, oh yeah, I got a 2nd story.
How tall is that church though that you just mentioned?
I mean, it's got like, I don't know, like 3-4 stories. Like there's a steeple with a like a bell.
Yeah. Sir, I'd like to be on top in that bell tower. That would be a great place, I think, to fight this thing from.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Our mission here is to as a player to get our people, and
that's correct.
Right. And
so actually, I think there is a moment like you folks are so you're deciding this. So what's the plan, Natalia? Are you like, let's get to that church and hold for now. We'll figure out where the hell our people are, and like, or are you like saying like, no?
No. I think that's still a good idea. So yes. Let's
Okay.
get to the church, because no matter what, putting a sniper or
cool. So. Can I get a group maneuver roll from you folks or something? Like just
to me, to hustle our asses there.
Yeah, you're there is enemies. This is dangerous. Is an obstacle. Now the thing is that like I don't tell you what action you're taking. Like if Natalia is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna marshal everyone, it's gonna be fine. Like that's cool. I'm just saying that there is threats and we do need to make some rolls. So let's talk about what that is or looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I think we hustle. I think go. Let's go. Let's do it. I think I feel like this is a hustle.
All right. Cool. So
who's going to lead the action? Talia, are you going to send somebody to do it? It's just we all have plenty of stress to take right now. So
I was going to say Rhea can lead. I took Harden the last time, so I can take 2 more stress than before.
Nice.
Awesome.
Rhea's also good at maneuver, so
I'm just
also good at maneuver.
No, I want to point out that Rhea went into a cave, fought a friggin' chosen, and came back hardened.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's pretty damn still.
That's badass. Yeah.
Yeah. And Zainova came back a tactician. It was a different choice there. I almost went with Harden and I was like, no. So yeah, I like that a lot.
I see Metali still has harm. Did we have time to address that? Should I have marked that off or?
No. Rhea has to do it at the end of the mission.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
But I will, assuming that I have doctor uses left.
Remember that
Judd and John LL can just be quiet with all of this Jim bro, Heartless talk. By the way,
Heartless are like that, right? Like they're just like,
bro, it's chest day.
Oh, that's right, it's chest day.
Every day is chest day for a Heartless.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Bisha, I think you're corporal for the rookies. So all roll maneuver. What's our position and effect to hustle over there, Josh?
It's risky.
Cool. Risky standard. We can get there.
Risky standard. You make this roll, you all are in.
We can't.
I cause myself stress.
Misha also
causes me stress.
Let's see if I can jump on the stress train.
3 stress and no successes yet. This
Yeah,
is gonna
right?
be amazing.
Natalie, we're counting on you.
Yeah, we are.
Nope.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I think roll 20 is broke.
I think roll 20 is rolling two.
Look at all those
5
twos. It's
twos.
broken.
How did we roll 5 twos? Shit.
I will point out that Sean and I were in a game where we rolled 13 dice and couldn't break 3.
Yeah. And it was the end of our crew.
Yeah. There's a point. So I think you all take up, formation. You're like hustle, 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 hustle. And you've got your like cover and everything. And you've all seen this movie before, right? Like as you go past 2 buildings, you see something like flash just between them, like as if something's like running, right? And you're like hustle, 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 hustle. And like, you see just like you hear like a scrunch of like something hitting like thatch roof, right? And you're like hustle, 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 hustle. And you're rotating, right? Putting your backs to the church as you're approaching it, right? Like looking at this noose that's tightening around you. When 2 things happen. The first thing that happens is a second flare goes up. It's somewhere in the forest, and it's basically like a, like Legion position, we know where you are kind of marker. It just like goes up, right? Like the corporal like fires off a flare, notifying you that they know where you are. And so like that your crew is not in this town. They're past the town. But the second thing that happens is the church doors break open. And this thing leaps out. Now, you folks have seen hounds before. They look like people with their like eyes and sewn shut and their teeth filed to points. They've got like big like iron, rings in them and like chains off them and whatnot. But this thing is huge. Now, I need you to remember that there's a specific mission that you chose not to do 2 times ago that involved a pale giant hound that some group of Black Oak Knights was carting around on a cart. And this thing was like able to keep like pace with their horses and stuff. And this thing breaks out. It's pale as snow. And when it lands, it does like a, and then when it smells the living, it lets out a horrific howl that rips through all of you, causing pain. Like your actual bodies, like your muscles start cramping and like being in pain. And so you're now in a desperate position, right?
That feels right.
Yeah. What do you all want to do?
How close are we to this hound? This hound?
Close enough that you're not that far from the church doors. I'm gonna say that like you're maybe 10 feet to the hound, another 10 feet to the doors, right? Like you're not.
It's in between us. Yeah.
It's in between you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
It's behind you. The noose is like closing from the front of you. What do you folks want to do?
Miltali, it's your call, but definitely Victoria is looking over to see like, is now that we know where our people are, is the plan still for the church, or is the plan book it towards our people in GTFO?
Yeah, I think it's GTFO.
Okay.
Maybe.
Before you GTFO, let me just ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
These things are clearly faster than you on foot.
Gotcha.
How are you planning on losing them? Because just hoofing it is not going to be enough. Like hoofing it to a place and then like trying to drop something on them, hoofing it and like causing them to not be able to like track you or see you. That might be a thing. Like it's very complicated though, right? Like how are you?
Right.
Yeah.
My thought is, go ahead.
No, I have a plan for that, which is that I can keep this thing busy while we all run past it. It doesn't prevent us from being able to, that doesn't mean it can't catch up with us, but it's in between where we want to go right now, which is the heck out of here. So I can pin it down so we can at least get past it. We still need to figure out what to do after that. But you see Victoria start to like cock her rifle, and she's got a round of ammo, a round of black shot, a round of ammo, and she's just like ready to like load a ton of shot into this thing and let loose on it. That's my thought, but that doesn't solve all the problems.
Right. My thought is maybe we can take advantage of the interior of the church. If we can get inside, right, maybe we can block this thing out. If we can't, maybe we could do something to it inside the church. It's enclosed, so it doesn't matter if it's faster than us. We've got a lot of stuff.
I know, but I don't want to
The other
have
thing
us
you
be
could do
stuck
is-
inside the church and be surrounded by monsters.
Matali, you could push and try and push it inside. Sort of like bull rush it.
push
but-
it back inside.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just be like,
Yeah.
all right, it's all of us versus one versus all of us versus you at our backs, and also this giant crew coming at us. And
Right.
also, where the hell is the guy with the javelins? And are there more of you?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think me shooting it is a good plan if you're gonna slam it with your shield.
All right.
Um,
And I do have a fine shield.
nice.
yeah,
I like that
up
plan.
to you. Okay, so that's the plan.
That
You
is
go-
the plan. I'm gonna push it back into the church.
Awesome. I feel like this is a solo skirmish here, right?
I can buy that.
Okay.
You
Now
talk me
I
into it.
will just tell you one fact.
Uh-huh.
That doctor use can be spent to make somebody immune to wound penalties for a scene.
Say that again.
A doctor use, which
Okay.
Rhea has being a medic,
Mhm.
can be spent without anything. You know how like you have anchor and anchor has a base power of when I spend anchor, I fight as a small group.
Right.
Well, Rhea has an ability called Doctor, and Doctor says that I can give somebody drugs and they are immune to any wound penalties for an entire scene.
Okay.
So, in case that's relevant, you did
Is that-
mention Matali was wounded.
Yeah,
Yes, he is.
I feel like that's helpful. Also, I can use one load of one load. Is that load or dot of medical
Use.
supplies?
Yeah.
To grant one person potency for a physical action, which this is.
If Matali pushes, he gets potency anyway from being a weapon
Yeah.
master.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to.
So
Awesome.
I can give you the use of doctor. I was planning on using doctor once on Multali at the end anyway to heal that wound, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Awesome. So I'm gonna do a cool thing. I'm actually gonna put a 10 clock on the table for this thing.
Oh, fun.
And let's see what that looks like.
This is
So
for this hound.
oh yeah. Yeah, this thing is,
But is that 10 o'clock representing killing it or trapping it in a church? Feels like those are very different.
nope.
goals.
That 10 clock is it's killing it.
Okay.
But I feel like actions that defeat it or harm it are probably gonna put ticks on the clock.
Mhm.
Right? Like if you trap it in a church and also drop a church on it, that's a very different discussion.
Yeah.
The outcome of the trap is going to come down to the rolls, obviously, but you're going to make progress on this clock as long as you are fighting it in some meaningful fashion, and it's not just going to arbitrarily go away. So here's a actually, yeah, here's a 10 clock. This 10 clock represents the terrible awful hound. So yeah, let's see what this looks like. Jay, you ready?
I am ready.
Rhea, what does this look like? Are you just like, here, smell this? Like what does your administering your doctor use look like? I don't really know.
I think this might be the first time that we see it on screen. I don't think it's smelling. I think it's a needle. And I think she doesn't tell him it's coming. She just jams it into his arm and then says, "Sorry."
But you need this. Yeah. Oh goodness.
So yeah, you know,
Chop and chop. Also known as the Holy Dorothy maneuver.
Nice.
when in doubt, just drop a building on someone. It'll even slow down a chosen. Yep, true facts.
Yeah.
This is risky position, right?
No, it's desperate.
This is desperate. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, actually, you said desperate earlier, but that was maneuver. I don't know. Is this desperate skirmish?
Well, and then we failed the maneuver. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a desperate skirmish because you're trying to move something that's huge. But I feel like if you push, I mean, you're a war machine. So, yeah.
And
That's,
I won't be pushing.
all right, cool.
Yeah. So if you push, you're dropping its threat down. and you're also getting plus 1d or plus effect, and you're also getting potency.
Yep.
Right.
Go
Can
hot
we,
or go home.
can we assist
How would you assist?
by shooting it
Yes.
before he gets there? 'Cause I think
Legit.
that'll slow it down.
Spend those for instance. Yeah, that's good. I have to ask these questions, like what does it look like on screen?
Right.
Like just like bark out like go and like fire
I'm
a
gonna-
shot at it.
I wanna-
before-
I want to pull a John LL on this right now. This thing losing an eye does not materially affect it, right?
Not really, no.
No, awesome. So I shoot it right through the eye
Awesome.
with expert sniper skill, so as to distract it and piss it off while you go smashing into it.
Awesome. I like it.
I'm starting to stress for that.
Yeah,
the
I
thing
think
you
it-
get to do is an
Like
assist.
there's an explosion of green fire. It howls in pain and tries to claw like a section of its head off. And that's when Metallic Shield hits it with all the weight of an angry heavy behind it. Are you spending Anchor J, or are you saving it for when there are many, many forces?
I am saving it. I think I got this. So I think I get a die for pushing and then the die for the assist. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Plus
And
two
then my-
dice.
What is effect? Because there's so many factors going into this.
I'm saying for now that the effect is going to be standard because you're getting two things on it, right? Like it's probably going to get harmed in the melee, which
Mhm.
is the standard effect that I'm going to put on its clock. But I'm going to say, unless you roll a 4 to 5, it's also going to get pushed into the church and far enough inside that, people will be able to close doors behind you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Here it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
What they call a crit.
Fatale.
Yes, we'll tally with the crits. I think he's gotten by far the most crits of any of
I
us.
think you're right.
Oh,
He
sorry.
may have gotten-
Oh wow! I rolled. I accidentally clicked random side. It got the right amount of ticks on it.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So Jay, this is in your hands. What does this look like? Like, there's this furious friggin' melee between you and this thing, right? Like the camera's on you, but I've got
Right.
nothing to say. Like,
Right. So I think Metali's fine shield has, if rhinos exist, maybe a small rhino point in the center of it.
I mean, it does. You established that in session 1. We can say that they exist on the giant plains of Aldermark, or we could say that they exist in the forests of Panya. It's up to you, but it's totally fine.
Nice. So I think he yells probably more from getting stuck with the needles than anything else, and closes the distance with the hound, smashing that shield, breaking that horn off into the creature as he pushes it back into the church.
Yeah, that's rad
Like a
AF,
real
right?
horn.
Like, it's like trying to claw around the shield, and you
Right.
half lift it up as you're double timing it in there. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
So I think you've created only a risky position for everyone else. How is everyone else collapsing in here?
I may be misunderstanding, but my thought was you're shoving into
Oh, yeah.
the church. Are we then slamming the doors on it and getting the hell out of there, like leaving the church and going towards our troops? Or are we going to go fight it inside the church?
I thought the second, but I don't know
I
what's the
thought
plan.
we were locking it in and bailing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I imagine that 2 of us at least are slamming the doors shut. It's like as
Yep.
my shoves it in, then we slam the door shut, and
Yeah, you hear like the thud is like it's gonna shoulder check it, and you see whatever crossbar you drop in starting to like,
Right.
yeah.
right? But it's gonna be in there for a bit. It's probably gonna run up that bell tower, maybe collapse some staircases, get real pissy and jump down. But like it's gonna take it a hot minute or 5.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you folks doing about all the hounds outside? Yeah, there's this terrifying moment, right? Like you close the door and everyone's just like ready to high five each other because they're like, "Wow, that was close.
Right,
We almost
right.
died bad." And like that howling, that pain in your muscles that was stopping you from acting. Everyone's like, I can't move. If I try to run, I'm just gonna fall over. Everything's bad." And then Metallic gets jammed with drugs, and Metallic's like, "What pain?" And so like this thing gets like shoved. That's why I didn't make any like resistance rolls or anything. You just like drop this thing inside, and when you close the doors on it, the pain stops. So like, yeah, you folks are good for a hot second, but like as you turn back around, you see like bodies of multiple hounds. Now, I have to explain to you that this hound that you just closed behind the door is huge. It looks to have a body shape and size similar to the Heartless. So it looks like maybe like an 8-foot human, like that runs on all fours, right? Like it's big, right? Like at the shoulder, it's like multiple feet. But when you look outside, all of the other hounds are basically human sized. So like they don't look any taller than any of you. They're of a variety. Some people are short, some people are tall.
Right.
But you see a couple of them like crawling up with that like unnatural like gait onto the rooftops. You see a couple of them coming out of alleyways. Like one of them just stops, and you just see it like, and like all of them like are getting ready to pounce. So like, what are you folks doing about that?
I was to say they've definitely seen us. Then they're encroaching
They
on us.
smelt you. I will point out that none of them have eyes.
Oh, okay, right. So
I mean, they have eyes. They're just sewn shut.
I think we know. Do we know this about the hounds? I think we know the way they sense people.
So.
I can't remember
encountered
that
them before.
in game or out of game.
It
But
did. Remember the River of Bodies?
yeah, right.
That was that mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Victoria just like takes a big breath and holds it and like signals everybody like, let's creep out of here without like
Breathing.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I'm not sure if people are for it. That's all. It's your call. But
Wow. Was Matali there?
No, you were playing. It's not
playing,
silver. It was like it was gray.
Gray. Yeah.
Because you were
Gotcha.
the smuggler,
Right.
right? Because you knew
Right. I was
Zimnati
just-
and
yeah.
you popped out and you stabbed people and put armor on.
Yeah.
So Matali was not there, but like the story has permeated. So like,
Okay.
I mean, Legionnaires talk to each other. Like no one comes
Right.
back from missions just like, I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about it. They're always
Right.
like, yo, if you go on a mission, you see this thing, it's creepy as hell, but this is what you do, right?
Right.
Like,
And, and I would point out that Victoria was the one that led that hound on that merry chase.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the one with personal experience. Not that I'm necessarily doing the right thing.
so
but-
you can do a number of things. You could try and hold your breath and scout your way out of there, right? Like stealth or maneuver just to try and get out of range before like you have to take a breath or something.
Right.
You could have Victoria put down some suppressive fire and then try to catch up. Much more dangerous. You could stand and fight. What is the call here?
Yeah, I think we'll give the holding your breath a shot and see how far we can get away on a breath.
Cool. So I think that holding your breath is so again, humans are not terrifically good at doing heavy physical exertion while not breathing. So how are you planning on leaving? Are you holding your breath and like sneaking? Are you holding your breath and like booking it? Booking it is a little bit more risky because they can
Right.
hear.
Right. I think we're sneaking.
Okay. Group scout,
Group scout.
yeah.
who's tanking the stress?
Not
I'll eat
me.
I'll eat it.
Okay. You sure?
Right. Right.
I've got 4 left I can take.
Okay.
Well, there's exactly 4 people rolling.
Yeah. So if we all do bupkis, I will still be okay.
All right. Let's
I
throw
have
some
no
dice.
scout.
Well,
That's
so-
probably a stress.
I have
Probably.
one. I have 1 scout.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all pretty terrible at scout, unfortunately, but it's the thing that makes the most sense, I think. What's our position and effect on this?
Controlled standard.
Cool. Note to the QM. Nice. Misha pulls it out.
Dang.
Oh, a second 6 coming in from the single dice. Let's bring it in.
Oh, nice.
I wish we had the ability to.
Combine them.
To stack them.
And I
Well, that's
got
one
this.
stress.
Fine.
I'm about to give you another one
That's
I have no
fine.
scout.
Yeah, just roll it.
It happens. Like this is why group actions. Somebody will bail you out.
Yeah. I mean, I was here to tank the stress, but I'm making a note as the QM. Yep, that's another one.
It's
I'm
too
making
stress.
the QM make air bladders for people.
There is an Orite medical alchemy substance called Deep. And what you have to do is you take this liquid and you have to inhale it as the liquid, and then you're fine. You don't have to breathe for hours.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking about taking the chemist ability for Rhea next time, so she has chemicals and shit.
Yeah.
Now that we have an alchemist,
No,
like,
it's
true.
true. Makes sense.
True.
All right. Well, I took 2 stress, but
So what does this look like? It looks like Mitali, who's in heavy armor and carrying a shield and having trouble holding their breath. Mitali is in trouble for obvious reasons. Like, I mean, that just makes sense, right?
Right.
And then also the sniper is in trouble for some reason. I don't know if you're like regard, whatever. And it's the squad and the medic that actually saved the day. And what does that look like? Misha and Jen, if you want to tell us a little story of how you folks actually get people away from these hounds.
I think it's actually not so much that we get the people away from the hounds as we get the hounds away from the people. So the squad like fans out and scatters, and then we start like throwing, making noise, like distracting them, and then do it again. And like from somebody else will call, so like the hounds are like going ape shit trying to figure out where
oh god, I love that.
Yeah, and I think Rhea
It's
is
so owls too.
like directing traffic on that. Like, I'm paying attention to what the owls are doing, and like, cool. Now, Victoria, you can, you take a breath because you obviously need it.
Well,
now,
I think-
Mitali, like, yeah.
Yeah, I think Victoria did it first, and maybe it took a few moments for us all to organize. And so she's been holding her breath a little bit longer, and at some point she just has to, like, her eyes are bulging, she just has to breathe. And then that's right when one of the owls like makes a noise so that the hound that like sort of turned in her direction then goes the other way. Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
So good. Very, very like haunted, haunted hill, like Resident Evil sort of like terror moment for a second, and then sneak out of there.
Cool. So I think you folks back away for a hot second, and you're at a distance. You can't see anything, but you'll hear like a pounding happening from the church area here in a hot minute. What is the plan here, Mitali? Like, are you heading out into the forest?
Yes, we're gonna book it out to the signal where we saw the signal at.
Awesome.
The flare at.
So I think there's you're gonna book it out into the woods. I'm not gonna make you roll because you got away from their trackers, right? Like the hounds are their version of trackers.
Okay.
And you got away, so like it'll take them like a bit to figure out where the hell you went, what you're doing. That's fine. How are you finding your people in the woods in this like dark, rainy, stormy sort of night?
Ooh, dark, rainy, stormy.
We don't have a lantern this time.
No, actually, it's true, right? Like ghost owls, right?
Yeah.
That's,
Right,
that's their thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's probably. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do all the squads have animal names or animal?
They do. It's because the original squad, the first squad, was the Shattered Lions, and it's because the Emperor gave them a banner with a lion on it, and then it just kind of became like a tradition thing.
Right. Well, they weren't the Shattered Lions back then.
No,
right?
they were not.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. So I think and each squad actually has a motto, like a saying that identifies them. And the Ghost Owl one sounds like it's not really a command, right? Like so like most of them like the Shattered Lions motto is the pride of the Legion, right? Double meaning on pride. But the owl one is calm before the storm. And most people think that it's a descriptor. Like they think that it means that owls are calm before the storm, but it's actually an imperative. The owls say that to each other when bullshit is coming, right? When other units are going to quake, they tell each other, like, remain calm before the storm, right? Like it's we are the ones that see the storm, and we take the calculated action, not the emotional one.
Right.
They're the stealth exfiltration experts. Almost all of them are ninjas in some way or another. The like they have secret bird calls. Yes, they clearly do. That is an Eastern Kingdom's thrush and nobody here would actually be able to hear one in the mountains. So like, it takes you like 30 minutes to find them, but you definitely find them. I'm not gonna make you give rolls. That's actually a really clever, like just fictional position. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, nice.
But by the time you see them, you're starting to hear like things moving through the woods. What do you folks do when you see them? Are you just like, stay quiet, we're moving, or are you just like, tell us what you know? Or like, what's the plan?
Stay quiet, we're moving.
Okay.
We can talk later.
Awesome.
Circle up later.
Josh, you said we're seeing things in the woods?
Yeah, you this is that like there's things moving in the brush.
Yeah.
And like when you try, like you had this happen to you, right? Like not too long ago where like stuff was running around between buildings and stuff, but you see like a flash between trees. You hear like the crunch of something like a little way. It feels like things are looking for you still. It doesn't feel like they're like 5 feet away, right? Like it's.
Are there any footprints or signs of traffic for us to be able to possibly identify what these things are? Figure out where
pretty dark.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was thinking maybe we could use a flare and throw them off.
Remember, their eyes are sewn shut. It's possible. It's possible. Keeping one on hand as that plan is not the worst idea because.
Right.
Please don't hate me for my anti-environmental stance here, but like you could set the trunk of the brush on fire and stuff. It's raining, so that's probably not going to take real well, but it's possible. Flares
I was thinking,
water.
Right. Is there a way we could create a lot? I guess that's an explosion, a lot of movement, and not be there when that's happening. Like if we were back in town, we drop the church, and that creates a lot of movement, a lot of friction, a lot of stuff.
A lot of noise, a lot of vibration, yeah.
Right.
Could we, I don't know, fire a flare at one of them and maybe catch them on fire?
Yeah. But
you have a limited scope of flares that you have 2 remaining, right?
I was gonna say nobody's playing Flavia, right?
No one's playing Flavia.
But is Flavia in the squad?
Yes, Flavia is in the squad.
So they're there. You can talk to them.
I mean, because Flavia has grenades.
Oh shit!
Oh,
right.
That's what I'm talking about.
or explosives.
Or explosives.
Either way. Yeah.
She's a
Flavia
grenadier.
probably took grenades. No, she might have satchel charges, but she wouldn't take satchel charges on a recon mission.
Yeah.
Usually take satchel charges when you're going to place them on like a specific thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, Flavia would just be like, "Yeah, I have 2 grenades," and she like shows them.
That'll work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to see what I can do about putting on where they need to go?
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so I'm gonna give her 2 dice because Flavia is a soldier.
Okay.
And I'm basically assigning them. I'm using her threat as a fortune pool because she's not a character. We're not making an action roll. She can't push. She can't resist and stuff like that. But I can make a fortune roll to see how it goes for her to make this this assignment that you're giving her.
And
all of these legionnaires are here, right? Like they're not like this lump that never speaks, right? So if Matali's like, "You're freaking grenadier, rock, go drop some bombs," she's just like, "Yes, sir."
This is why I got the training,
right?
so I could do
and
that.
So,
So I can do the thing.
totally a thing. Now they're less protected than actual played characters are, but we'll see how that goes.
Question: is Miltali saying throw a grenade over there to distract them while we run this way? Like throw a grenade left and we go right, or is it try and blow them up?
Yeah, no. I'm looking for a distraction so we can escape.
Right. Okay, cool.
So Flavia, being a grenadier who has a training in placing explosives and things, is like, I'm going to put it somewhere where it might cause like a mudslide and cause a couple of trees to collapse over and things like that, right? So like she understands your plan and she's trying to like create a distraction. Now the question is, how successful is it?
Right. Now, I have an idea, which is that things like the camo kits have tents and netting and whatnot. So I imagine there's lots of ropes. There's lots of fine like twine and whatnot. We could rig up something where we tie some twine around the pin, plant the grenade, walk a fair ways before we pull it. But that may just be complicating things overlay. I don't know if that gives us some distance where we can pull this pin.
Or for that matter, you can make it a tripwire.
Yeah.
What's that? Well, yeah, I don't want to
talk. And goes like, people without grenadier training. She's like, I can just throw them.
All right.
Like I can throw pretty far.
Okay, never mind.
Good plan though. All right.
Excellent.
I think we're gonna roll some dice.
Yeah,
Yes,
let's
we
see how she
are.
does.
5. Mixed result. I think what it is so I think clearly things are going to be distracted and this is going to cause a bunch of noise. I'm trying to think of the complication that I want here, because on a 4 to 5 something goes wrong, right?
I think that's
and
on an action roll. On a fortune roll, it's standard result, right? 1 to 3 is bad outcome. 4 to 5 is normal.
6 is a good outcome.
6. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of gather info or acquire. Sorry, ignore me.
I still have this amazing superpower right now because I laid out the book. I can still just like jump right to pages because I have like page numbers memorized. It fades after a bit, friends, but for now it is a pretty cool thing. So fortune roll, huh? Yeah, on a 4 to 5, mixed result, limited or partial effect. So I think I'm gonna give you a condition, and then we'll roll some dice if you do nothing about it. Which is that the grenade goes off, and it's gonna distract a hell of a lot of things. But Flavia is gonna get separated from you folks, just by the things coming in. So if you wanna, you can resist this. You can let her go. And then we'll make a fortune roll to see if she can rejoin you at some point. Or you could, try and deal with it right now, like with actions. How do you folks want to handle it?
Well, we resist that.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say I'm interested in resisting that.
Yeah.
Tell me how you resist that. I feel like an insight resist to see a problem coming can totally be legit here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with that. I think that's how Rhea would do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So is Rhea resisting that?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
So how is Rhea resisting that? Like, it is an insight resist, no problem. And when you say, I would like to resist it, it's going to happen. It's just a question of how much stress does it cost?
Right.
But Strash's question to you is, what is it that you anticipate? What is it that you do that frees her from this trap?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, as soon as the plan becomes Flavia's going to go throw some explosives, Rhea's like, cool, that's going to put her in a position where she potentially gets isolated away from the group. So I think what Rhea does is before the explosives go off, she kind of like scouts out paths back and multiple paths back. So that if Flavia's, if path A is blocked for whatever reason, like there's other ways to go.
Okay, cool. Give us an insight resist. That sounds totally fine.
Cool.
She gets cut off, but she has an escape route because you saw this coming.
I got
That's a 6, so it costs you nothing.
Nice.
So cool. Yeah, I think Flavia gets cut off, but by the time you folks are hitting the tree line, she's already back. Is that cool?
That is cool.
Awesome.
Imagine she just like joins us from some side route. We're like,
Yeah.
what,
So what's the plan here? Keep booking.
Keep booking. Yes.
All right. Cool.
we have
This is
to
a
go
recon
back.
mission.
Do we have
Yeah.
to go back through the town to get back? Like,
Kind of do. There's a no, you don't. Let's have a talk about this. There is the fast way out, which includes a bridge, and there is the much more risky slow way out, which includes climbing kits and a lot of alternate routes.
I think it's the bridge.
I have a climbing kit.
I have a climbing kit.
Okay.
I think
But
it's
I
the
think
bridge.
Vitali's just like, no, fuck it. Let's just book for the bridge.
It's the bridge.
Cool.
Because I don't have a climbing kit and I'm heavy.
Yeah, I think there's a moment where at this point, like the rain is pouring, right? Like you folks are like pounding the pavement, and you realize that the bridge you realize that the town is empty, right? Because like a bunch of these things scattered and went away, and you're like, oh, okay, clearly they're behind us. But about halfway through the town, you're like, but there should be something on our tail. And you're pounding down the pavement, and you're heading, towards the bridge. And there's this moment where you're heading right towards the bridge, and like you're approaching it, and there's this like flash of lightning, and the thing that you saw before, the giant ironclad bare-chested thing,
Yes.
just does this thing where it brings like one of the spears down on the bridge. And like, you have to understand, this thing is not a bridge, like a rickety bridge with like wooden lathes on some ropes. Like, we're talking about an actual serious wooden construction bridge with like actual like supports, or not
an engineered bridge.
And it's an engineered bridge, right?
Yeah.
Not advanced. Like, we're not talking about like something that's a wonder of the world, or like, like a San Francisco bridge. We're talking about a bridge, though. Like, it's wooden, it's heavy. It's supposed to take carts with like multiple horses. And like, when this thing brings its like weapon down, this whole thing shudders. And when it like lifts its hand up, you can actually see like a glow in its veins, almost as if like it's got like fire in its blood. And it just brings it down again, and like the whole thing shudders again. And then it like rotates, and again, I'm saying this, it's got like metal over its eyes. You have no idea how the hell it can even tell where the hell you are, but it's sensing you folks coming, and it like brings its like weapon up, and that like if it connects, this whole thing's coming down. So what are you folks doing?
I'm gonna start shooting the thing with black shot.
Cool.
So many times that it has to stop doing that while we can run across it.
That sounds great. Let me make an 8 o'clock for it.
Oh, I don't want to kill it. I just want to get us past it.
I mean, shooting it still works. I'm not going to take that away from you. I get it. Your focus is, so when I tell you lesser effect or something like that, you're like, that's fine as long as it doesn't like break this thing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. So let me put a little 8 o'clock here for this this horrific heartless.
Yeah. I'm pushing for sharpshooter, which allows me to suppress an enemy. So it's not doing jack, was my hope.
Cool.
And and I'm using black shot. When you use black shot, it doesn't count as devil's bargain. It just counts at, it just has greater effect on.
It gets potency, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I've got it. So I'm gonna send it. And yeah. And my goal is to keep moving while shooting it. It's shoot, run up, advance, shoot, keep, try and keep advancing while.
Yeah. Cool. Are you using your sniper rifle, or did you bring pistols?
I'm using my sniper rifle.
Okay.
I did not bring pistols.
This is a situation where Akimbo is much stronger. But no, it's cool. Yeah, give me a risky shoot. And I hear you. Like, you're suppressing it. You're keeping it from doing a thing, because that's what the power says, which is cool.
Yeah. What's my effect?
Limited. You're not firing for effect, so to speak.
Okay. Well,
4.
That's not my favor, but 4 is enough.
Let me think about this. Yeah, I think you don't do any significant harm to it, right? Like, you put rounds into it, you stagger it. There's like one point where it's just like, come on, and like you shoot it with like a high velocity, high caliber round, like right in the head. So like you actually see the sparks, like it's a normal bullet, right? But all you're trying to do is like ring its bell.
Yeah.
Reference.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm gonna be doing this a lot. And yeah, it's you're putting rounds into it, and you're keeping it off balance and stuff, but like you're not really hurting it, right? Like you're mostly just trying to stall it so that like Metalli and the troops can like close and like, I don't know, throw it off the mountain, fight it, whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan?
I'm fine with that. You're basically saying it goes to 0 effect, but the suppression still works.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The suppression works because you use the power.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll totally take that. It was meant to distract it. So yeah. And yeah, Victoria's like, whatever you're going to do, do it fast. I'm not going to hold it for long.
Right. I think we're just trying to run past it. I don't think we're trying to engage it. I think we're Trying to GTFO?
Oh, I don't know that it's giving you choices. No, that's cool. You have a couple of options.
Right.
You can do like a group maneuver to just like push it out of the way and keep running.
Right.
It's very risky though. I might even say desperate because it could bring the bridge down like once you're past it. You
Right.
could leave somebody behind. Metallic could do like another one of those like skirmish rolls where he tries to like push it out of the way. And just like, you know, hold it in combat for like a hot minute while everyone's like going. How do you folks want to handle this?
Can I spin anchor to hold it while everyone else gets across the bridge?
You can spin anchor to give yourself scale, but you're probably gonna have to roll some skirmish to hold it.
Okay.
Like anchor changes your position, right? Because you've got scale on it now.
Right.
And so like you have enough strength to fight like as if the equivalent of a group of 5.
Right.
So will that be enough? Probably. The question is, do you get hurt in the process? Because this thing has weapons that like will go through your armor, right? So like it's super strong.
Right.
So are you. So you're on better than even footing. But yeah.
Can I ask a question about the suppression?
Mhm.
Is the effect of the suppression? I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but is the effect of the suppression I'm stopping it from destroying the bridge? Or is the effect of the suppression I'm keeping it at bay so we could run past it? Or is the effect of the suppression I'm preventing it from being able to attack meaningfully? Or is it
in general,
one?
I try to look at it as a fictional position. So if you're saying like I'm suppressing Black Oak Knights, they probably have to duck because you're putting like 30 rounds into the area, or like anytime somebody pops up, you just like plug them in the head, right? Like I'm looking at it in a different way, in a different fictional position. So this thing was like, I just need to make one swing. And you're like, cool, I'm going to suppress it from using its action. I don't get a lot of, things on it, but at this point we've closed to like practically melee range.
Right.
If you want to say like, hey, maybe I can suppress it again while everybody crosses the bridge, I'll say, hey, super cool, but you're on the other side of the bridge.
Right.
If you're like, Matali makes one roll, everybody crosses, and then I want to suppress it while Matali jogs, that's also fine.
Cool. Okay.
I try to like, suppressive fire generally forces people to keep their heads down. Now, the thing is that if you're fighting something that's like 14 feet tall and doesn't really care about being shot, like that's a different story. So like I still try to fictionally account for it being suppressed in some meaningful way.
Right. But the primary thing is that it stopped it from doing that final blow.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds good.
Cool. So what's the plan?
I will hold it.
Awesome.
Everybody
Matali,
run.
You want to do a skirmish here?
Yes. Not really.
Are you pushing? No, not really.
Can I do an assist
Yes. How do you assist?
on this? I shoot it in the foot with my pistol,
That's
or
that's fine.
knee, or
That's fine.
something.
No, it's fine. Putting some rounds in it while you're running by is totally okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. That's an assist die. Just mark a stress.
Yep.
I do push.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know that it's in the foot. It's probably black shot rounds in the ribs or something. But like,
yeah.
So Matali, you're pushing. You're gonna get an extra die from Maria.
Right.
You're gonna get a die from this. Now, what level of harm do you have?
Didn't I give him doctor already?
But I also have
but it's only
tenacious.
for a scene, right?
Right.
So like Matali was not
Oh, okay.
for that scene,
Okay.
and now
Right.
it's come back, right? Like the drugs wear off.
Right. But I also have tenacious. I'm not sure if that helps here.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk
As
about
I
it.
read this.
Tenacious is a pretty boss. I think
Yeah.
Tenacious reduces wound penalties. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. You can push for a die or you can push for effect. In which case you would only get plus 1d from Rhea.
Mhm.
And you would be back at standard effect. You would basically negate the penalty of your wound.
Right.
But we should also think about all of the other effect positions, because you get potency when you're pushing.
Right.
And you also, because of War Machine, you can you can reduce the threat level of the enemy you're facing, or
So you'd have plus 1 threat on it. Yeah.
perform a feat of superhuman strength, lifting a creature like this up and throwing it into the ocean, blow the bridge. But and with Anchor, you're giving yourself scale on it.
Right.
So it sounds like great effect. Sure.
Yeah, well, I think it would actually be. Well, yes. I mean, it would be risky Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. So this thing has potency, right? Because of its super strength, like effectively. But it would lose on threat and it would lose on scale. So it's
And then their potency would cancel each other out.
yeah. You would have standard effect without, yeah, you could push for a die and still have standard effect. Right? Because like potency and like you would have threat on it. So potencies cancel out, you would have threat on it that takes it from limited to standard, right? And then the scale gives it the yeah, so this could be risky great, yeah.
I like that.
Great sounds exciting.
It does. I'm in.
Great sounds
Yeah,
like
those are
pushing it,
nice.
you know.
So you can do you still get your push effect, which would be +1d,
Right.
and you still get an extra assist die, so that would be another +1d, so you're at +2d. Let's see how it goes.
All right.
Risky great +2d.
Just roll a crit.
I mean, that's all it takes, right?
Yeah, that's all it takes. It's good times.
Oh, Lord.
boy.
No.
I cursed it.
Yeah, I think you
no.
no, this is cool. So troops, there's this moment where, like, you know, Matali's like, go, 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 and Matali goes to fight this thing, right? And so he actually puts a shield into it, right? And like it reaches on its back and like throws up and then like catches like one of those javelins and like tries to hammer it into you, and you parry it with your hammer and everything. And like the troops are running across the bridge and the bridge is creaking, right? And it's like it's starting to crack and bend. And you see the troops getting to the other side, and you're holding this thing. And then there's just like a moment where like it like you and it lock your weapons, and then it leans in real close and says, "Why didn't they send Zionova?" And like this is the first time you've heard an undead speak. You've never heard an undead ever utter actual words, right? Like aside from Render, but like Render's a broken. That's different.
Right, that's different.
Yeah, and it says that's what it says. And like for a split second, you're just like, huh? And then it does like a maneuver that you recognize as like a Zemyati like battle spear like motion, like as if it used to be a weapon master and it still remembers how to do that. And so like you're just like, I'm a weapon master, and it's like, cool, so am I. And like the two of you clash one more time, and it like knocks your weapon aside, right? And then like jams like that spear into you. So you're gonna take harm, and I'm going to put you in a desperate position, and that's when the bridge cracks and starts falling.
Woo. So
Resist?
You can resist. Well, here's the thing: he failed, right? So he loses the opportunity to traverse, unless somebody has some like engineering marvel that can like repair bridges or something. I can't see how you can.
I don't, but I have a climbing kit that I could try to chuck at him. The rope.
But you can certainly resist harm, right?
Right. I was thinking, how much harm?
It's 2 and 2 corruption.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah, these spears, when they sink into you, like you see black veins start spreading and infects the wounds. It all gets super, super fun.
Yeah.
Hope somebody brought medikits.
So,
I did.
Yeah,
I will resist harm.
Awesome. And you can spend armor. You've got like armor shields, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of spinning the shield.
Yeah, there you go. What does that look like? Do you like catch the spear in your shield? Like, yeah, it would have gone straight through your shoulder and hammered you into the ground, except...
Right. Yeah, I do catch it with my shield, and maybe it pierces through the shield, right? And so now we're locked. I've got a spear in my shield. I have the shield, and I toss it off to the side.
Do you throw it like off the cliff dramatically?
Oh, yeah.
See it like flip in, and then it lands in the pile of water and mud that's coming down from all these rains?
Right.
Okay.
I like it. And then...
The problem, it has a whole quiver of these stupid spears.
I know, right? I only got one shield.
Quiver -1. Yeah.
So that would usually reduce it to 1 harm. Are you going to prowess resist, or are you going to mark an armor?
I'm going to prowess.
Actually, let's think about this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You have threat on it, and you have fine weapons and armor. So I think it's only going to be level 1 harm, but still level 2 corruption. So I think you actually don't take corruption either, because this thing never hits you.
Okay.
So a shield will be enough. On the
All
other
right.
hand, you're also disarmed.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? Your hammer's like right over there.
But everyone's across the bridge?
Yeah, everyone's across the bridge.
I think we stick to the plan. I'm expecting cover fire as I start to run to the other side of the bridge.
Are you good? Well, the bridge collapses, right? Or is it
The bridge is collapsing, but I think what Vitaly is saying is, can I make a desperate maneuver to
Right.
try and make it to the end of the bridge before everything goes under, or at least close enough that someone can throw me a rope?
Right.
And what I'm going to say is, that's friggin' cinematic as hell. Usually, Band of Blaze is just like, no. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Vitaly. I'm gonna put two things on the table here.
All right.
If you want to give me a prowess resist, I'm going to reduce the bridge has collapsed to the bridge is collapsing,
Right.
and then you can make your maneuver roll.
All right.
Is that fair?
That is fair.
All right. Give me a prowess resist to just book it as fast as metallically possible. I was gonna say as humanly possible, but
All right. There it is.
all right. So that's
you
a
have-
5. It costs
you
you 1 stress.
You got one more die on prowess resist.
I have one more.
Yeah, because
You're
you're
Barton.
Oh,
And you're
yes. That is correct. That is
I
correct.
mean, it might not do you any good, but
So you just slash roll 1d6, see if it comes up a 6.
Oh, I did that wrong. Sorry. That rolled 2. I only wanted to roll 1.
You know, it's fine. I'm going to be fair here, and I'm going to say, like, you rolled 2 dice, but if we just take the first die, I think
Yeah.
it is a 6. Like, I feel like I'm forcing you to re-roll because you misclicked is a little crappy. So like, yeah, it doesn't cost you any stress. Vitaly is got the power and the juice in him. So like, Vitaly looks at hammer, looks at bridge, decides bridge, books for bridge. Give me a desperate maneuver here. Let's see if you can make it.
I was gonna say I would like to assist by throwing some rope at him.
Yeah, that sounds great. Marcus stress. Give a die to Vitaly.
Yep.
Vitaly, you gonna push or are you?
I will. Yes, I am going to push. I am so stressed out right now.
yeah.
That's okay.
I think you were asking for suppressive fire earlier. I'm not sure if it's necessary, but
You think you do it anyway?
well, I can do it. It's gonna trauma Victoria out, but I
Ooh.
don't.
Ooh, yeah.
But
So I've got 3 dice. I'm going to roll on this maneuver.
yeah, all right.
Here we go. Let's see it happen.
You can do
Mark
it.
an XP and prowess, by the way. Because desperate actions, right?
Yes. There it is. Thank you. I forget about that.
Nice.
I think it's exactly that. I think Metal is just like clang, 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 clang. The bridge does the like crunch, crack, falling into the river, and then he's just like, whoa! And he like grabs. Like it's one of those moments where he jumps, and then like there's a distance shot as the bridge is falling and everything.
Right,
And then we
right.
just see, like Rhea and like 2 others like holding the rope, and then we just
Yeah.
see the like the gauntleted hand come over the cliff edge as like Vitaly pulls himself up.
So good.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Nice. Jay, mark another prowess XP for the desperate skirmish with Hound earlier.
Yes.
I'm scrolling through our things. It's like, how many other desperate actions have we done? I think it's all Metalli.
Yeah. So I think you have your squad mates. I think so we were talking about intel, right? Like we're talking about like how so let me ask you this question. One of your missions was to figure out what it was that attacked him, and I feel like you have a pretty firm grasp on that. That's worth 1 intel.
Okay.
Another action or another objective that you had for intel was to figure out how did they get up here? Can they replicate that? And like, how many of them are there essentially? Now, I feel like you're on the other side of the bridge and you've gotten away with your people and 1 intel for sure. But this is the point where we talk about like, well, how much did you learn in the process? Does anybody want to make some rolls to try and like deduce the other half of those questions, which is like troop movements, positions, powers, that kind of stuff?
Right.
Because otherwise, that second intel point is a little bit in question because like you don't 100% achieve it.
What can the gray owls that have been hiding out tell us?
Right. So like this is some interesting facts, right? Like the ghost owls, and they definitely give you like they'll tell you some stuff that they saw, including the fact that so like if you remember, Eater and a unit of Black Oak Knights went west. And they mentioned to you that there was a unit of Black Oak Knights. You guys just got lucky because, among other things, they're carrying those stupid effing spears too. But they're not using their hands to throw them because they don't have the strength. They're using basically ballista. So they tell you like, yeah, there's Black Oak Knights there, and also like they saw the big white monster would actually go to bodies. And like they would bring it bodies that were like still alive, and it would like kill them, and like they watched it like suck out their dying breaths. What that does or how that works, I think research rolls might tell you something. But like,
I can help with research rolls.
Would you like to make a research roll?
I would. Also, I have these books and scrolls I haven't used.
Fancy books and scrolls. Use for plus
Would
one
you
game.
like an assist with your research roll?
I would love an assist with my research.
What does that look like? Is it just like reading the books and like comparing notes and stuff?
Like helping interview the ghost owls that were captured and talk to them and stuff.
Yeah, sure. All good.
Neat. I got a 6.
Nice.
Cool. So I think comparing like you folks paid attention in the forest, you look for footprints, you figured out some like routes, like how to gain elevation and everything like that. You compare notes, you realize that the one Heartless is the same one that was attacking south of Plainsworth when it lit the city on fire. It's you get a fair bit of information, and then you start thinking about some stuff and you cross-reference some stuff, and you actually brought some notes from people that had reports from like the Battle of Edinmark Fields, and some notes in the that people had speculatively from like conversations with like Sora. And one of the things that you think is that the particular hound that they have, for whatever reason, that one is weird. And it seems to have the capacity to like basically like eat the dying breath of people and gain or like eat their flesh and also gain some of their knowledge. So you think that, remember, like they were going to some like graveyard. You suspect that it ate a bunch of corpses in that graveyard and got some like ancient knowledge, and it figured out routes that you folks didn't like remember, and it brought people up like a different path than like Render's main army is following. So
Nice. So we have a Heartless that's leading this.
Knows I know his name.
That knows I know his name. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna say anything. I want to get a mission with these two both on it, or if somebody kills the Heartless, it is. But there is no destiny. There is no plot armor. If Matali had chucked this thing off the bridge, it'd be just as dead. But it has 6 of those horrific black metal spears and one made of charred heartwood. So yeah.
Are you saving it for her?
Oh yeah. Cool. So let's
I want to use my last doctor use to give Miltali a healing tick.
Hey!
Yes.
Doctors being ninjas. All right, let's do some XPs.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't think Fuchsia made any desperate rolls. So, but she did in fact survive the mission. Yay! Stayed out of the way and survived despite odds. Brought into play my heritage or traumas. So one of my my heritages is I took every inch a blank Panyar, which gave me the ability. Wait, what did it give me?
You get all of your heritage
yes,
traits.
Quiet, yes, the fast and quiet on a normal load. So I didn't have to take that.
There you go. That's all you got to do. Good job.
And highest threat of opponent faced.
3. The Eater is a 3. They're in Infamous.
All right. Jen.
I survived the mission. I help my squad through medical knowledge or emotional comfort. I don't know that I brought into play either of my heritages, which are warm and stoic. Although something could be said about just sticking Moltali with some needles.
I was gonna say stoic
Yeah.
is you were pretty
Okay.
tough and organizing people in silence and dealing with all of the BS that's happening. So like, I mean, I am just like a bridge is collapsing, your friend is gonna die. You're like, cool, I get this. Rope out. I'm gonna throw it right as he's jumping. It's fine. So
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then 3 for the highest threat.
yeah.
Awesome. Jay.
I survived the mission.
Yay.
I did help my squad through might or fortitude.
Yeah, you did.
Good.
Like, there's no epic question. You're just like, P.S. Every roll I make is might fortitude. Let's go.
Story checks.
I brought into play my heritage, being stoic, with that prowess resist.
Yeah. Sure.
And then
And also, I think Worm came into play as well in terms of your. Well, this was not in the mission, but this was like talking to in our. When you were talking to the guy about betting,
Yes,
I
yes,
felt like you were
betting.
connecting with the people.
Right. No, that is right. I do remember that. Yeah, at the back of camp scenes.
Yeah, the back of camp scene.
Yeah, I remember. Yes. And then what I forget what the highest threat of the opponent was. 3. So that's a total of 6, right?
Yep. Did you bring into play your trauma? You have trauma now. You're cold. You're warm and cold.
Oh, that is right.
You're warm and cold, Moltali. I mean,
I think if your
forgot.
mind, we're getting mixed messages here.
I know. I mean, it doesn't.
I actually have one specific thing that I felt like Moltali was super cold about, which is that when everyone's having a party and everyone's having a good time and Zora is waiting for him in the morning, he's just like,
No,
"Fuck this shit."
no,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
And like, even when his friends are like, but Moltali, we were betting on you, he's just like, nope.
Didn't bet on the human.
Nope.
That's what he said.
That's right.
and I was just like, frosty cold. Like, so, yeah.
That's how you lose money. You don't know me.
Nice. So
Nice.
I got
All
7
right, and
XP.
Sean.
All right, let's pull up Victoria. I survived. Oh, I survived the mission. That's 1, which fills me up. So
Woot.
got to advance. And then I helped my message through keen observation or key shots. There were several shots that helped us move along. Brought into play my heritage or trauma. I'm going to call back to the campaign phase as well. When she brought not a poor, but a just fine alchemist back to camp. Because she's noble and use that influence to bring.
So hilariously, XP is only supposed to be on missions, but I'm kind of loving this idea that the player. So also players get final say. So
Yeah.
like I as GM cannot tell you, no, you can't take that. And I just love that you folks are just like, yeah, we're just gonna bring back a campus scenes into it. What you gonna do about it? And I'm like, oh, that's cool. All right, let's roll.
I mean, fair.
It's
But-
literally not something I can say no to mechanically, but as Strash, as a person, right? Like not speaking as like somebody who's trying to be ruthless here, but like just as me as a human, I'm finding it absolutely delightful that you folks are so like naturally slipping into this. Like somebody did it once, and then everyone's just like, yeah, now we're all just gonna do it. It's cool. I'm like,
Right.
all right, that is cool. So continue.
That is what I'm doing.
The author did it, so it's totally cool.
I can't do anything about this. This is player time. I can only enjoy it, and I am.
All right, and then I took 3 for. Victoria has an advance, and I didn't make her, so I don't know what's best for her to take. I can think about it, but Misha, if you would like to, if you had something in mind.
Let me look.
I was gonna say I totally took chemist for Rhea. So now she can have a
Trixie.
sash.
But by the way, more than anything, the sash goes back to the old Blades mechanic, which is you get 4 slots and then you mark them as necessary. So you don't pre-select your chemicals. You just reach into the sash and you pull out the one.
Neat.
So,
Maybe
like,
I love it.
It's one of the ways to make the doctor a little more dynamic because you can
Yeah.
actually bring a couple of different things. And there are 4 that are examples there, but we can talk about. I have no idea why I have a fork in my hand. But we can talk about other things that you might be able to pull out of your sash. So
It will probably grind her up and kill her really fast. But if you really want to go after a broken, or a lieutenant or something like that, you could do Crimson Shot. It's a real brutal move.
Yeah, but you gotta mark a trauma every time you do that.
That's why I say it will chew her up and spit her out.
you carry the bullet, and that bullet is mighty, but it is 1 bullet.
Yeah. We can vary it later. We
Sounds
don't need
good. Awesome. So good job, everybody. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you did too. However, now it is time to find out how many people die on secondary missions.
Oh,
So
dry.
I'm sorry. Every time I make the phrasing worse and everybody's faces get more scrunchy.
Bring them
Like a mini
home.
game I'm playing. I'm so
Bring
sorry.
them home, Marshall. Bring them home.
All right. Hold on. Where's my
FF. FF is mentioning. FF is like, I've only ever seen a Crimson Shot fired once, and it was worth it. So
Yeah.
it was a very, very iconic scene to the point where I kind of want to pay Michaela, who's our artist on the book, to actually do like a big, almost poster-sized version of it, because I kind of want to hang that up. That scene was so good.
Nice.
Judd, fun time is
I know,
over.
I'm reading that and I want to be like, fun time? When did fun time start? But I love playing games with you guys. So actually it has been all fun time.
Yeah.
But
You got
fictionally.
kisses. I don't want to hear nothing.
While Misha is assembling the pool, I just want to say one of my inspirations for this was very kind of like gothic novella werewolf fiction. So I wanted to have, dark and stormy nights, a village, broken bridges, strange wolf-like creatures coming from different areas, you being like hunted in the woods, that kind of stuff. So like hopefully some of that came through.
Let's say, so we just checked all of those boxes this
I was gonna
evening.
say, yes, very, and then some.
So if you feel a little scared, I'm doing my jobs.
Okay.
John just asked Misha who she loves the least.
I love this game.
Bite me. All right. So, scouting mission.
Mhm.
No, supply mission.
Supply mission.
We are sending.
Cyanova is what I heard.
Yep.
And which squad?
The Silver Stags.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I
Silver
know.
Stags are, no matter the cost, they seem like a good.
They would be, except for the
Yeah.
fact that I have a little clock in my notes that says Silver Stags don't trust the leadership.
Nice.
Fuck, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, because it graph. Fucking
I
graph.
mean, you
man.
may not know. You may just be like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, but I think Graph came
Except I think
around.
they changed that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Graph did come around last time.
Yes. Remember, Graph was on the fence.
Graph was the one who
That's
made
true,
the
that's
fucking
true.
chicken dinner.
Graph
true.
made
It
the
is, it
chicken.
is. Graph did make the chicken. I'll
Yes.
tell you what. Let's see the result of this roll.
You're killing me.
Now we'll see that Graph was tipping back. Stepped away from the edge. It was gonna be cool. See how this roll goes.
All right. So,
Whatever you roll, it's the Marshall's fault. Unless it's a 6, then Zainova was great. I'm kidding. I'm so sorry.
killing me. All right. So you have the Legion is loyal. Commander, did you give us an intel?
I did not.
Yeah, I know. Is everybody a soldier or specialist? I do not believe so. Nope, we have our rookies. Anybody distrust or not fear?
Nope, that's fine. That's all good
Alright.
now.
We have the required specialist. Quartermaster, did you send food?
We're up to we're at 1 die right now, right? And then one
Yep.
more for Zynova.
Yes.
So we're at 2 dice.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sending food. We're getting a bunch of supply.
All right.
Yeah.
So that gives me 3. And the current pressure is not higher than 2.
No, it's a 1.
Excellent.
I'm gonna mark off the food right now. It means we're gonna have to stay here and get food, but
Sean is so such feels about sending food on secondary missions.
I'm so grumpy about sending resources on secondary missions because we don't get to see the effect of it. We get to die, but we don't get like the, if you send Blackshot, everybody gets to equip Blackshot. If you send religious supplies, everybody gets a reliquary. But on secondary missions,
Food. You get to have refugees that have food. It's wonderful.
yeah, that's actually
Heartwarming, and there are cool scenes until Misha does Misha roll a 6?
no.
Nope.
Misha rolled a
No.
5.
Misha rolls 5. But hey, that means
Misha rolled a Canadian crit.
that means we can succeed and lose 2 morale and still be at 8, which
Yeah.
Is that the plan? You gotta lose.
It's up to the marshal, but
So who do you love the least?
No.
Can I make a practical yet horrible suggestion?
I just do it randomly.
Okay. Because the pragmatic part of me is like, cool, graphs on the fence. We can just solve that problem.
It really depends on what stories you want to tell. If you want to have cool stories
That's true.
of legionnaires getting feisty and then deciding that chicken dinners are going to like bring them back to the Legion, that's a cool story. And so like Graf surviving could be that. It is certainly the pragmatic choice, and it is the marshal's call. If the marshal wants to like maybe play the marshal's like heart being hurt by like maybe the person that she put in charge actually makes a bad call, and then that's something that she has to actually address, and we roleplay that out in future scenes, that could also be cool. But it's it's ultimately up to the marshal. It's not my job.
So the marshal just rolls randomly because the marshal is a marshmallow, and got a 1 and a 2. So that would be our corporal Arunza Yadam, and Graf.
there are no. Oh no, that's not true. I was getting them mixed up. Yeah.
That's amazing. So Graf dies trying to protect, their leader, who did want to lead in the first place. Was this
Yeah.
actually
Also,
the
leader
Dave's
screws up and
expression
gets
as
dropped
Arun
too.
was the
What does
best.
it
He's
do?
like, well, I don't want to lead. That's so good. Wow, that's heartbreaking, and I'm excited to hear their story once we reach Talgon. But for now, 3 supply. Let's do the mission penalties and rewards real quick, because that's usually where I like to cut things so that next time we
Zainab needs to take some harm.
Yep, 2.
She would take 2, but she's ready.
also gets 2 XP.
So it's only 1. What kind of harm would she take on this mission? What kind of things happened?
I mean, she's facing Blighter troops. So
I would say acid burns, but she's already got burns, so
that's okay. She can get more birds.
I know, but
Oh, you want something else?
yeah.
She can get like a bleeding cough,
Oh yeah,
because inhaling vapors will burn your lungs.
yeah. Bleeding cough.
This doesn't sound too healthy.
No.
I think the medic has something for that. Too bad,
Too
Ria's
bad
Iraq with
I'm
Zainova.
separated from her by a billion, but that's fine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put those XPs.
John's like, cheer 50.
Yeah, I put
Pour
the
one out for Graf.
Going out for grab.
Nice.
Oh, so great.
I put the XP tags already. So
Yeah, I'm putting XP in prowess and 1 in ability, and I'm gonna give her a non-rec. I think she might have had to clap something along the way.
I was going to say that filled up the next 4 block for telling a tale. So
all right.
we'll have that.
Nice.
We'll have a brief talk after, because I want to know which Zor Power you folks are excited about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
'Cause I have 2. One of them is real good. The other one is real good. So All right. Cool. Everybody has done their XPs. Let's do the thing. Campaign phase, mission phase. Resolve missions. We did that. Bookkeeping. Mark -1 morale for each legionnaire that died on the mission. So that would be 2 morale for Misha. So I believe you're going to 8.
Yep.
And then we always apply mission penalties first. So you failed one. You auto failed the 3rd mission. So Jay, you're going to have to mark 1 pressure.
Under pressure.
Oh,
Glad
damn
I'm
it.
not the only one who thought that.
No matter what. Red. And then okay, so you succeeded on both of the other missions, which means that Sean, you gain 3 supply, and
back up to 4.
Jay, 2 intel.
I like it.
We have 3.
Probably not for long, but
Oh,
for
so
now
yeah.
it's gonna
Let
be
me
cool.
enjoy it for a few minutes, Josh.
It is true. And I believe with that, we're gonna call it here until next week. So let's do our outros.
Let's say goodbye. Thank you all. It's been fantastic hanging out with you. Thanks for cheering us on and even cheering on the dead. So many dead this time. Starting with Crimson and ending with Graf. I feel like the characters that I'm closest to are all dead. Are all dying.
You still have Zayanova.
Yeah, I know. And I've made her indestructible, so hopefully she's very hard to kill. Yeah, I am. I'm very excited about this game coming out soon. The Big Bad Con Kickstarter just ended this morning, and we did phenomenal. So I'm super excited about that and all the cool people that are going to come out. Yeah, I'm loving this game. We will not be back next week because of Origins, but we'll be back the week after that. So
2 weeks.
2 weeks. But yes, I can't wait for it. How about you, Misha?
Hi, I'm Misha B. She, her. I'm BG Gameworks on Twitter. I'm super excited because K-Tempest Bradford's going to be going to Big Bang Con and I get to okay.
I'm sorry. Who was it? Which person?
K-Tempest Bradford.
Oh yes. Okay. Excellent.
Right, fangirling. So gonna try not to, getting my squee out now so that I don't just totally fangirl all over when I'm there. So that's me. How about you, Jen?
Jen, I use she, her pronouns. I'm very tired. I'm excited about Big Bad Con, but I'm way past my bedtime and can't I got nothing. So Jay, how about you?
I'm Jay, he, him. You can find me on Twitter at MattJ0. I'm going to Origins. I'll be there. I'll be at Big Bad Con 2. So I'm looking forward to both of those.
Awesome.
Strauss.
I am last but not least, hopefully. I'm Strash, he, him. You can find me on Twitter at Strash A. Thank you all so much for hanging with us. Chat was incredibly popping today. It's an utter delight to see people excited. It gives me energy. It gives us energy, and seeing people so into this was really rad. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being awesome. I will also be going to Big Bad Con, and there's a fantastic new thing that I'm excited about, which is my tier has funded. And as promised, that means that there are going to be 3 people that are going to give me some prompts, and I'm going to make a small game that's going to be included in the little Baba Yaga boxes. And I might we'll see how it goes. I might make a couple of spare copies just to give away for anybody that catches me over there.
Nice. Thank you.
That's it for me. I am probably going to spend next week talking a whole lot about this game because the pre-order for it is coming very soon. And also working on all the sheets and extra doodads and other things for this game because the work never ends. But till then, check out our we have a new website, offguardgames.com. It's cool.
Woo.
And I think that's it. That's my hype. I think we're done.
Nice.
Do we have a smooth outro, Sean?
We sure do. So good night all. Thanks for